All right, so what we want to do is a little bit of practice with the consumer price index. And as we're doing this, we just want to make sure we understand the math behind it all. So let's go ahead and start with this first part where it says we're solving for either the CPI or whatever that market basket value is within a given year. And so we said one of the first things we always need is the market basket value for 1982. But if you notice, it is not there. However, if we keep looking on, we actually have enough information in order to find that. Let's go to the next year, which is 1999. So for 1999, we are actually given the market basket value and the CPI, which means we're going to have enough information in order to find that market basket value in 1982. So let's think back to exactly what our formula is for this. We said in order to find our CPI, we said our CPI is equal to the current, I'm going to abbreviate market basket value, divided by our base year market basket value times 100, and it'll give us that index. Well, if you notice right here with 1999, we are already given two of those. We're already given the current market basket value and we're given the CPI. So let's just plug in and work from there, right? So we know that 166.60 is equal to the current market basket value of 56,293 divided by whatever it was in 1982, right? And then times 100, and that's going to equal 166.60. Well, we can kind of do some algebra here and work it through, where we divide both sides by 100, and then we isolate x. And what we end up finding is we can solve for that market basket value, and when we round it to the nearest dollar, we find out that it should be 33,789. So now we have that market basket value for that first year, and we can keep going from there. So let's take a look at 2004. If we take a look at 2004, we're saying we know what our market basket value is in 2004, so we can say the current market basket value of 63,828 divided by the market basket value of 33,789, and we use that one because remember 1982 is always our base year, times 100 is going to give us our CPI. So again, we can just plug and chug, right? And so when we plug this into a calculator and multiply out by 100 and then round, we end up with 188.90. There's our index for 2004. And then we can go to 2009. Now, if you notice in 2009, we do not have the current market basket value. So whenever we're trying to solve here, what we're going to end up doing is still just setting up what we do have. Well, we don't have our current market basket value, but we do have our base year, which was, again, 1982. It's 33,789 times 100 is going to equal this number right there, 214.53. And again, then we can just do the algebra from there. We can divide both sides by 100, then multiply both sides by 33,789 and solve for x, and we should end up getting there a dollar amount of 72,488. All right. So there we've done it. We found our indexes, but what exactly do we do with our indexes? Well, remember, we use those in order to find how prices have changed from year to year to year. So it says using the CPIs above, solve for inflation in the following year. So between year 1 and year 2, when we're looking at from 82 to 99, 99 to 2004, 2004 to 2009. So let's start with this first one. We want to understand by how much did prices change from 1982 to 1999. Well, let's go ahead and make sure that we remember our formula. Our formula for this one, again, is we take our year 2 CPI, and so we said year 2 was our later of the 2 years, minus year 1 CPI, all divided by the year 1 CPI, and then we multiply that by 100. Okay? So once we've done that, let me actually pull this over so we've got a little bit more room. Once we've done that, and now that we have all our CPIs, all this one is just plugging it in and working from there. So let's look at 1982 to 1999. So we want to take our year 2, our later of the 2 years. The later of the 2 years was 1999, and the CPI there was 166.60 minus whatever it was in 1982, 100, divided by whatever it was in our earlier of the 2 years, right, which was 1982, 100, times 100, right? So that cancels, and we find out it's just going to be that right there, 166.6 minus 100. Our inflation rate was 66.60%. That means from 1982 to 1999, in those 17 years, prices rose by 66.60%. Let's take a look at this next one, 1999 to 2004. So our year 2 in this case is the later of the 2 years, 2004. And the CPI in that year was 188.90. So that's year 2 CPI minus year 1 CPI. Year 1 CPI was the earlier of the 2 years. 1999 was the earlier of the 2 years in this case. So we do minus 166.60 divided by 166.60 times 100. And again, we can just plug in and work, and you end up getting 13.39% once we round. And again, once we see this, what we're just saying is that in these 5 years right here, prices went up a total of 13.39% across those 5 years. And then finally, let's take a look at this last one. This last one is saying between 2004 and 2009. So we're saying, okay, for the next 5 years, what happened? Well, again, we use our formula, year 2 minus year 1 divided by year 1 times 100. So let's start off. Our later of the 2 years, our year 2 in this case, is 2009. So we take 214.53 and subtract the CPI in our year 1, or our earlier of the 2 years, which is 2004. So we do 188.90 divided by the year 1 CPI, 188.90 times 100. And what we end up with there is 13.57%. So we say in the following 5 years, prices increased by another 13.5%. So you can see they were pretty steady across that time frame. So again, we use this in order to help us find out and solve for how have prices changed over time. And the Consumer Price Index focuses in specifically on the changes in prices for goods that people like you and I are concerned with, consumers like you and me.